The true measure of a person's desire for success is revealed in what they're willing to do beyond what is required. Going the extra mile is not a slogan. It is a principle that governs every great achievement. It means doing more than you're paid for, giving more than you're asked, and showing up with more energy, effort, and intention than anyone expects. Those who adopt this principle as a way of life place themselves in a category that few reach: the rare, the exceptional, the indispensable. Most people do just enough to get by. They perform their duties, follow the rules, and clock out the moment the job is done. They live under the false belief that minimum effort will somehow bring maximum reward. But the truth is, the world does not reward average. It does not promote those who merely show up. It promotes those who stand out, those who exceed expectations, those who give more than they take. When you go the extra mile, you create value. And value is what determines your worth in any endeavor. Whether you are working for someone else, building your own enterprise, or pursuing a personal goal, the habit of doing more than is necessary sets you apart. It builds trust, attracts opportunity, and develops your character in ways that no shortcut ever could. You begin to develop pride in your work, not because it's perfect, but because it reflects your inner standard, one that demands excellence. The rewards of this principle are not always immediate. Sometimes you'll give more and receive nothing in return at first. But this is where most give up, not realizing that they've stepped onto a path that always pays off in the long run. When you give more, you become more. You develop skills faster. You deepen relationships. You build a reputation that follows you. And eventually that value is returned, often multiplied in ways you could never have predicted. Going the extra mile also puts you in the mindset of abundance. Instead of asking, what can I get away with, you ask, what more can I offer? That shift changes everything. You stop operating from fear of loss and start operating from the desire to grow, contribute, and make an impact. And in doing so, you become a magnet for growth, for prosperity, for respect. There is another hidden benefit to this principle. It cultivates initiative. When you do more than expected, you no longer wait to be told. You begin to see problems and solve them. You identify opportunities and act on them. You stop blending in and start leading, even if you don't yet hold the title. Leadership isn't granted, it's expressed. And it begins when you do more than you're asked without waiting for recognition. Going the extra mile also protects you from competition. Why? Because very few people are willing to do it. The majority will always settle for what's comfortable. But those who make the extra effort a habit eliminate the crowd altogether. They rise naturally, not by pushing others down, but by consistently lifting themselves up. But let's be clear, this principle is not about working yourself into exhaustion. It's not about being exploited. It's about developing a mindset of excellence. It's about understanding that true success comes to those who are willing to do more, give more, serve more, not because they are forced to, but because they choose to. The person who goes the extra mile is not just doing more work. They are building a legacy. They are telling the world through their actions that they are worthy of more because they give more. And in time, that truth becomes impossible to ignore. If you want to separate yourself from the average, if you want to move faster, rise higher, and go further, make this your standard. Always do more than is expected. Give without keeping score. Serve without waiting for applause. Walk the extra mile and keep walking. That is where greatness lives. The ability to think accurately is one of the most powerful assets a person can develop. Accurate thinking is not about having more information. It's about knowing how to separate fact from fiction, truth from opinion, and reality from illusion. In a world full of noise, distractions, and emotional manipulation, the person who trains their mind to think clearly and logically gains a distinct advantage over those who rely only on instinct, impulse, or emotion. Accurate thinking begins with the discipline to pause and question. It's the refusal to accept something simply because it sounds good, feels right, or comes from a familiar source. It means asking, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this based on evidence or assumption? Most people accept information at face value. They allow emotions to cloud their judgment. But the accurate thinker steps back and examines each idea carefully before accepting it into their belief system. This kind of thinking requires effort. It is much easier to go along with popular opinion than to challenge it. It is easier to agree with your feelings than to test them. But greatness is not found in ease. It is found in truth, and the truth is often buried beneath layers of fear, ego, and emotion. The accurate thinker digs for it not because it is comfortable, but because it is necessary. Accurate thinking also demands that you separate facts from interpretations. A fact is something that can be verified. An interpretation is a conclusion based on perspective. Many people confuse the two. For example, losing a job is a fact. Thinking it means you're a failure is an interpretation. The thinker who can see the difference remains calm in crisis, level-headed in conflict, and strategic in decision-making. They don't make problems bigger than they are, nor do they shrink from hard truths. They simply see clearly. One of the greatest dangers to accurate thinking is emotional interference. Fear, anger, jealousy, and pride can distort perception. They create filters through which the world is seen not as it is, but as our emotions paint it. To think accurately, one must learn to feel emotions without being ruled by them. Emotions are natural, but they are not always reliable guides. You must learn to observe them, acknowledge them, and then set them aside when truth is required. Accurate thinking is also closely linked with integrity. A person cannot think clearly if they are committed to self-deception. If you are unwilling to face your weaknesses, admit your mistakes, or question your assumptions, your thinking will always be clouded. Honesty with yourself is the foundation upon which clear thought is built. When you tell yourself the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, you set yourself free from the lies that hold most people back. Another benefit of accurate thinking is improved decision-making. Life is a series of choices, and every choice carries consequences. When your thinking is sharp and grounded in reality, you make better choices, choices that align with your goals and values. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop gambling with your future and start guiding it. In business, relationships, and personal growth, accurate thinking saves time, energy, and heartache. It allows you to recognize opportunity where others see risk. It helps you evaluate people based on character, not charm. It enables you to remain focused on your goals, even when others are led astray by hype or fear. To become an accurate thinker, begin by questioning everything you believe. Where did the belief come from? Is it based on fact or tradition? Is it helping you grow or holding you back? Then apply this same scrutiny to everything you hear, read, and observe. Over time, you will develop a mind that sees clearly, decides confidently, and leads wisely. Those who think accurately are not the loudest in the room, but they are the ones who shape the future. Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring you a key not of metal, but of thought. A key that opens doors not only to success, but to the higher power within you. This key, when turned with faith and action, will unlock your purpose, your wealth, and your peace of mind. There are 6 parts to this key, and each must be turned with intention. Every great achievement begins with a clear, definite purpose. There is no exception. Until you know exactly what you want, your efforts will be scattered, your energy diluted, and your results inconsistent. Nature will not respond to a mind filled with uncertainty. She rewards only those who are deliberate, those who move with intention, and those who have made up their minds entirely. Think of the countless individuals who drift through life, hoping things will work out. They say they want success, but cannot define it. They say they want wealth, but offer no figure, no plan. They wish for happiness, but cannot tell you what would make them happy. And so they receive nothing more than scraps from the table of life, because they never had the courage to sit down and order the meal. The truth is this: the moment you decide upon a definite goal, you call forth a force within yourself that has been waiting for your command. This is not theory, this is law. A mind that knows what it wants becomes magnetized to the means of acquiring it. People, ideas, opportunities, and resources begin to arrange themselves. Coincidences appear. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open. But all of this follows a single moment of powerful clarity, the decision to pursue something definite. Now understand this. Definiteness of purpose is not merely choosing a goal. It is committing to it with your whole being. It is burning the bridges behind you so that retreat is not an option. It is standing firm when doubt creeps in. It is reaffirming your objective each day with the same intensity as the first day you declared it. A definite purpose becomes your guiding star, and with it, you never again walk in darkness. You will be tempted to change course when things get hard. You will be offered easier paths, safer choices, smaller dreams, but if you abandon your definite purpose in favor of comfort, you trade away your potential. You give up your command over life. And no man who surrenders his purpose can ever know real success. Now let me offer you a simple challenge. Take a piece of paper. Write down in clear, specific language exactly what you want. Do not write what sounds good. Do not write what others expect of you. Write what you truly want. It may be a certain amount of money, a business you wish to build, a skill you want to master, or a life you want to live. Make it real. Make it yours. And then, below it, write why you must achieve it. Write what it will mean to you, to those you love, to your future. And finally, write down what you are willing to give in return. The price you will pay, the effort you will invest, the time you will dedicate. That paper becomes your contract with yourself. Sign it. Read it every morning and night. Let it become the lens through which you view every action and every decision. Definiteness of purpose is the foundation of all success. It provides focus, builds faith, attracts allies, and creates momentum. Without it, you wander. With it, you conquer. So the question before you is this. Will you continue to hope for a better life, or will you decide what that life looks like and pursue it with everything you've got? The choice is yours, and the key is already in your hand. Faith is the foundation of all achievement, but it must be more than a quiet hope. It must be a living, breathing force that moves you to act. Belief, when passive, is simply wishful thinking, but belief, when applied, becomes a dynamic tool that reshapes circumstances, attracts opportunity, and strengthens resolve. It is the invisible power behind every visible success. To believe in your purpose is one thing. To behave as though that belief is already a reality is what separates dreamers from doers. There will be times when the goal you have chosen seems far beyond reach. The path will not always be straight or smooth. Doubt will knock at your door, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in storms. But the person who applies faith does not retreat. They keep walking. They act in spite of appearances. They do not wait for proof before they begin. They begin, and in doing so, create the proof. This is the very essence of applied faith. Moving forward without any guarantee except the one you've made to yourself. Applied faith means placing absolute trust in three things. In your purpose, in yourself, and in the unseen power that responds to persistence and belief. It is knowing deep in your bones that if you continue, if you act, if you persist, the way will be made. Doors will open, the right people will appear, resources will find their way to you. But none of this happens without the first move. And the first move is always yours. It's easy to have faith when the sun is shining and the rewards are obvious. But real faith is forged in difficulty. When the world tells you to give up, when your efforts have not yet borne fruit, when the results are still invisible, that is the test. And if you press on in those moments, if you can act boldly when others hesitate, you develop a kind of inner strength that nothing can shake. That's what applied faith builds. Not only outcomes in the world, but power within yourself. You must act as if the outcome is certain, even when you can't see it. This is not delusion, it's discipline. It is mental and emotional alignment with the future you have chosen. When your actions reflect your belief, you reinforce that belief, and the stronger your belief becomes, the greater your ability to withstand obstacles, to ignore distractions, and to keep moving forward with purpose. Applied faith also creates a magnetic energy that others feel. It inspires confidence. People trust and follow those who act with conviction. It's not because they always understand your vision, but because they sense your certainty. They feel your energy and are drawn to it. Opportunities begin to align not because the world suddenly changes, but because your mindset has. You begin to act, speak, and live from a place of assurance, and the world responds in kind. But applied faith must be nurtured. It does not flourish in negativity. You must protect your mind from doubt, fear, and destructive influences. Surround yourself with affirmations of your goal. Speak life into your vision. Train your thoughts to see possibility, even in challenge. This is not blind optimism. It is intelligent resilience. It is the deliberate choice to focus on what can be done instead of what can't. Faith, when applied consistently, transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It connects you to something beyond logic, something greater than fear. It gives you the courage to begin when the outcome is unknown, and the strength to continue when the journey is long. The person who learns to apply faith in their daily life becomes unstoppable, not because they are without fear, but because they have chosen belief over hesitation. So act as if your goal is already in motion. Let your steps prove your belief. Let your consistency reflect your confidence. Remember, the moment you decide to believe and back that belief with action, you have already begun to win.